Andrew was Iowa born and raised, 501 jeans, shitty beer.
I press the record button.
Press go.
Podcast.
My backup's going in stereo. Let me just fix that. I don't need a stereo file.
No, we don't need more than one track for this shit.
This backup that I'm not even going to use, the file that will be deleted in a couple hours, it's got to be a mono file. I don't want to waste space.
Yeah, for sure. It's a big priority. MP3 files are huge.
Mm-hmm. And if it's in stereo, it's twice as big.
Yeah.
Because there's two instead of one. Anyway, welcome to Tech Chat. We're discussing the intricacies of audio production here on today's episode of Rock Hard Caucus. It is the 194th episode. We are inching ever closer to episode 200, the final episode of Rock Hard Caucus. This is, again, a 420 special. We had our 420 special last year where we both got high as kites.
Yeah.
While we did the show.
I'm turned up, man.
Yep.
I'm so excited also for the resurrection of Jesus Christ. It's pretty fucking awesome.
Is risen.
Yeah. He's getting high too.
You're supposed to say he is risen indeed.
Indeed.
I know you haven't spent as much time at church as me.
I don't know. I don't know the church rituals very well.
Yeah. But yes, he's risen because he's so high on drugs.
Right.
All right, to get things rolling today, we've been mentioning this at the end of every episode, and it occurred to me, people might be shutting the podcast off before we say this.
How fucking dare you if you do that, by the way?
I know. If you listen to a podcast, you got to listen to every second of it. Even those podcasts where they accidentally leave like a minute of silence at the end.
Yeah.
You got to let it keep running just in case there's something at the end of that silence.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to make sure people know we are doing a live show on May 7th at Film Scene in Iowa City in the big Chauncey building. And we should not talk too much about this, but there has been recent news about that particular building that may come into play at our live show on May 7th. There's a shadow looming over the live show on May 7th. We'll be hosting a screening of three films, short, mostly. I don't know how to. I've been struggling with how do I tell people what these are without just explaining every entry.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm saying short films, but one of them is a half-hour documentary. That feels more substantial.
It's the best selection of stuff from Means TV. Maybe not the best, but it's a representative selection of what you can see on Means.tv.
Sure. Yeah, it's three things that I like that are on that platform. Sarah Vaccine, a short, gross sort of COVID nightmare thing from Sarah Sherman, who you might know from Saturday Night Live. She's not going to be there, but we're watching a thing she made. Most famous person involved probably is Sarah Sherman. She doesn't know that the show is happening, but we are showing a thing she made.
Nice.
One episode.
She's been on some other lefty podcasts. We could maybe get her.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, she did a show at the Mill years ago before she was
really?
A superstar. Yeah, so she's been to Iowa City. She knows it exists.
Sarah Sherman, superstar. Molly Shannon incarnate.
Yeah. Okay, we're showing that. We're showing an episode of the Street Fight Radio TV show. Rest in peace to the show, not the participants. And we're going to be showing Out of Office, directed by our friend Will Roberts, Cedar Rapids' own Will Roberts. And he will be there. He's the only person involved with any of these.
He will be there.
Yeah, right. That's the kind of humor you can expect when we're so high on drugs.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You should come.
Yeah, so we got some plans for how to intro the show. We're going to do some stuff before we play the movies, and then after we see Out of Office, Will's documentary, we're going to talk to Will about it, and maybe we'll take questions from the audience. Maybe there will be some participation. The most important thing, though, is that the tickets are pay what you can, and everything that you pay will go to Iowa Trans Mutual Aid Fund. So it's a good reason to spend money, not just to see us dick around in a movie theater. Like, if that's not a strong enough selling point for you, the money actually will be put to good use.
Also, shout out to whoever's doing the marketing emails for Film Scene by putting Rock Hard Caucus at the very first part of the subject line.
Oh,
that's pretty awesome.
Yep. Striking, sequence of words.
That's an email you got to click.
I know
they know what they're doing.
Lots of people are on that email list. Film Scene is a very popular local organization, and they just got a penis joke delivered to their inboxes front and center. I haven't, nobody seems to be mad that this is happening. That's what I was kind of worried about, because we've made some enemies in the upper echelons of Johnson County society. I was worried that there might be some pushback against us doing a show at Film Scene, but so far so good. All right, so the plugs happened at the beginning. We're going to do this whole episode backwards.
If you come to the show, you have a duty to protect us from any enemies.
Yes, come to the show and be our human shields. No, I'm going to be working out every day until the show just to make sure I'm ready to fight back against our many enemies that may arrive.
Yeah, I think the mic is mightier than Pecs. So we're just gonna, we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Hope there's no disturbances.
I know how to use a microphone as a weapon.
Yeah, it's got a long cord on there. It's pretty thick. Do some shit with that.
They're actually wireless. We're gonna be using wireless mics.
Oh fuck! God damn it. Well, I mean, they're made out of metal
or club. Yeah. But also, if you point it at the speaker and you get it loud enough, you can do feedback.
Audible attack. Yeah. Good idea.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is getting pretty far afield of what I want to talk about on the show, but I work at a theater, at a live entertainment venue, and a few times, in the years that I've worked there, there's been what do you call it? Sort of active, not necessarily active shooter, but something bad is happening in the theater, training on how to deal with it.
A host of Chapo Trap House hit a vape too hard.
But yeah, if somebody brings a gun into the theater, how should we keep ourselves and our the people seeing the show safe? And a cop has come in and talked to us about what to do. And one thing that's been discussed is if you're running sound, you can well, I don't know. I don't remember if this was suggested to us or if I just fantasized about it, but I could just play screeching feedback extremely loud, and that would either confuse the assailant and stop the bad situation from happening, or it would just make the situation way worse and everyone would be freaking out even more. It make it impossible for anyone to think straight in the whole building. I don't know. It seems like it could be doing more harm than good. I don't know. Okay, on to the news.
All right.
We got some follow-ups on stuff we've been discussing on recent episodes. The canceling of student visas, would you believe it has continued? They are still canceling more and more student visas for international students, nationwide, of course, but here in Iowa as well. I think last time we discussed it, we knew about 2 students at the University of Iowa who'd had their visas revoked. I've been trying to keep an eye on news stories coming out about this. I saw one about several students at Iowa State have had their visas revoked. 5 students in the Quad Cities at the private colleges there, Augustana and St. Ambrose, have had theirs. One of the article says statuses quietly revoked. I'm not sure if that's all visas or if there's some other, documentation or whatever. And then the total at the University of Iowa has gone up to 5. So it's still a problem, and it's getting worse. The federal government is doing terrorism against the entire population of the country, but especially people who are, they're not citizens. They're here with, permission from the government, and the current government has made it clear that they can, revoke that permission and make your life extremely difficult and stressful whenever they want. That's the message, I guess. We can fuck with your life. We hate you for no reason.
Yeah.
We hate you.
That's me firing it back to them at the government. We hate you as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So COGS, the Graduate Student Union at the University of Iowa, and Iowa City Mutual Aid they're doing a fundraiser thing to help out these people who have had their visas revoked, because that really fucks up everything. Like that visa allows them to work, to like get health insurance here through their graduate work at the college. So like everything, once the government just like arbitrarily decides to revoke your status, like just your life is fucked. Not permanently. I don't mean like these people's lives are ruined irreparably. I just mean like the federal government's fucking with them for no reason other than, racism, xenophobia. They're acting out their fascist fantasies.
Yeah. And it seems like the justifications are getting flimsier and flimsier, as you might expect. Like,
yeah,
it's fucking horrible.
Yeah. The names of these people, that's not public for good reason, but things that I've been hearing, second and third hand, like one person, I don't know if this was even a local person or just somebody that a friend of mine knows. Well, when they just like get an email from the government that's like, it's time for you to go.
I've heard it's also AI fucking generated.
Yeah, there's got to be automation involved, because it's just like they just hand a database of like everyone who has been given a student visa. Just here, robot, throw some of these people out of the country. But yeah, they're not really necessarily given a reason when they're notified that like they're no longer legally, allowed to be here. And so like you just kind of have to guess, or just like think about like, well, what has happened that would like give me any sort of like, how did I get on the radar? The story that I heard about is like somebody got like one parking ticket that they paid off immediately. That's like the only thing they can think of that has ever gone wrong while they've been in this country. And it should also be noted that like student visas, like these are people who have like some means, like they were able to travel internationally here. This is not like, I don't know. It's just they're just going after everyone for whatever reason they can come up with. They don't even need to justify it.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the point, is like, we don't need to justify this. We have the power to do this and we're doing it. That's enough justification.
I mean, it's 100% intimidation. Like, I mean, obviously it's fucking horrible for the people it happens to, but it's like intimidating. It's intended to silence people who are here completely legally, have no reason to leave the country. Like, it's fucked up. Thank God we have Harvard fighting. I mean, like, honestly, like
somebody's got to do something.
The one institution with the most power, like they're, I mean, Godspeed to Harvard University.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that's also another motivation for the fascists, is like, these institutions of higher learning, especially the really prestigious ones, are so reliant on international students.
Yeah.
Like I think I said this last time, like a third of graduate workers at the University of Iowa are not from America, the U.S. So it's a huge population that's being terrorized right now. And that's part of the goal, is to undermine these institutions, because they are Marxism factories.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of international students haven't been Red Scared enough. They didn't grow up after the media effects of the Cold War like we did, and so they may be more receptive, or actually have an understanding of like the alternatives to capitalism.
Yeah, right.
So that's another reason to target them, is they haven't been maybe as effectively propagandized as domestic students. So there's a lot of reasons to do this, and a lot of reasons to hate them for doing this, and to fight them, and to keep your doors locked and, deny ICE agents access to anyone in your community for any reason.
Never say anything to any sort of law enforcement or fascist thug agents.
Mm-hmm. So I will link to the COGS and Iowa City Mutual Aid fundraiser for these people who are being unfairly targeted by our stupid, evil government. Another update that we received another tip about from a listener. I doubt they would want to be mentioned by name or anything on the show. So if you're listening and you do want to be recognized by name on the show, just tell me and I'll say your name next episode. But Magistrate David Hansen, who we talked about last week, the guy who he denied an arrest warrant for a victim of a sexual assault. The arrest warrant was to arrest the perpetrator of that assault, not the victim. But he denied the arrest warrant because he didn't believe the underage male victim of sexual assault. And he also used a racial slur in court. If you didn't listen to last episode, that's kind of what's going on with David Hansen. And where we left it last week was the commission that reviews, like, if there needs to be any sort of disciplinary action against judges and magistrates and whatnot, suggested that he should be suspended for 90 days and undergo some kind of sensitivity training, and anger management was mentioned actually in the documents here. And the Supreme Court, we watched some clips from the Supreme Court hearing about this because ultimately it's their decision. The justices of the Iowa Supreme Court decide what happens to Magistrate David Hansen, and they made a decision this week. There's a 28-page document that I was sent by our anonymous tipster. I read the whole thing on my dinner break yesterday at work. It was very fun. A fun way to spend a break at work is to read 28 pages of a Supreme Court decision. I'll skip to the end just so we don't bury the lead here. Upon careful consideration, we conclude that Magistrate Hansen is simply and unalterably unsuited to be a judge, and no attempts at behavior modification are going to change that significantly. He simply should not be a judge.
I concur.
He's not being suspended for 90 days. He is being removed as a magistrate. Good. He will no longer be holding that position of authority in the Iowa judicial system. I think he earned that.
Yeah, he absolutely did. I mean, there's also more details in there about the actual, 6 page?
It was 6 pages, yes.
6 pages that he wrote to deny this arrest warrant. And it's fucking gross. It's not good at all.
Magistrate Hansen entered a 6-page, single-spaced order denying the request for an arrest warrant on the basis that he did not find John Doe credible. John Doe is not the kid's real name.
Oh, really?
They are protecting the identity of the underage sexual assault victim, fortunately. He did not find John Doe credible, and therefore the warrant application lacked probable cause. In explaining the reasons for discrediting John Doe's allegations, Magistrate Hansen, 1, described John Doe's claim that he was unable to push away the female offender as absurd, given a male's, quote, innate physical advantage. So any male should be able to push any woman.
That's just biology. That's all there is to it. Fucking bio truths, man.
Yeah. I mean, I feel kind of bad for laughing at this, but it's just absurd. It's a disgusting thing to believe and to write in a denial of an arrest warrant as a judge. awful thing to belief to be spreading that all women are physically inferior to all men is basically what he's saying, right? Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. Do you think you could be overpowered by any woman on earth?
Not only do I think that, I think it might be...
I can say from experience.
Never mind. Yeah, I might have been overpowered by women in my life before. Not in this way.
Right. No.
But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe even on average, maybe most women are stronger than me. I don't know. And then he got into like the physical stats of this girl who allegedly assaulted this boy, like height and weight. And then he said, which he suspected most likely represents female obesity rather than muscular weight.
That's an assumption there. That's a pretty fucking heavy assumption.
Yeah, I'll just say it. It's in the document here. 5'11", weighed 290 pounds. I mean, look, a person that is like at least 5 inches taller than me and has like 150 pounds on me, man or woman, is probably going to be able to physically overpower me.
Yeah,
like whether it's muscle or not.
There's actually a pretty large
mass.
Overlap between like, male size and weight versus female size and weight. It's like there's a lot of overlap.
Yeah. God. And he spent a few days before he like made a decision about this arrest warrant. So he spent days thinking about this. Yeah. And what he came up with is still this stupid.
Yeah. Well, and then also there's like the part about how he was treating him like a confidential informant when it was like the actual victim of the crime directly telling, the police what happened, which is like, that's like probable cause in itself. Like you don't need to like verify the authenticity. Like if this is someone who is lying, then there's consequences for lying. It's like, and like there's precedent about it as well. Like
exactly. Yeah. I kind of actually learned a little bit about the law by reading that part of it. Magistrate Hansen characterized John Doe as a confidential informant, like you said, in the written order, based on his erroneous conclusion that he needed to treat the arrest warrant application similar to a search warrant application that relied on an unnamed police confidential informant, since his identity was not revealed. So, like, the difference between a victim statement versus like an anonymous witness or whatever, it's a different what's the word? Different
standard.
Yeah, standard of evidence. I don't fucking remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember the exact
law,
phrase
man.
I'm thinking of. Yeah, John Doe was not a confidential informant. He was the alleged victim of the sexual assault who made a report with the West Union Police Department. And then what was the next part that I read? Yeah, okay. This is kind of along the same lines. Magistrate Hansen's insistence that his role is to ferret out false accusations of sexual assault by requiring corroboration is not only contrary to the law, it is also contrary to his oath as a judge. And yeah, they cite a specific law or a specific case, like precedent from 2022. State versus Cray. It's Kraai. I don't know what that case was about necessarily, but the reason they bring it up is it has been the law in Iowa since 1974 that a conviction for rape can be supported solely by the victim's testimony without a need for corroboration. So that testimony in itself is enough evidence to justify, a warrant at the very least. Since 1974. I mean, she should probably know that.
Yeah. Yeah. You probably should. Yeah.
Back to his 6-page order, he said any self-respecting young male would have simply removed himself from any sexual touching that was truly unwelcomed. And this is where it gets really strange. Describing Magistrate Hansen's own response when he received an unwelcome sexual touch as a teenager. So his reason for denying this is like, oh, this has happened to me. And I'm fine. I'm totally normal. I don't need anyone to be arrested over it. So why should any other victims of assault?
That says a lot. That says a lot there.
Yeah. Yeah, that the fact that he himself had been subjected to inappropriate, sexual contact as a teenager.
Yeah. I think David Hansen should go to therapy. I think you should talk it out.
For sure.
This isn't the way to deal with that.
Not at all. Not at all. He described John Doe's actions as contrary to nature because the normal hormone-ridden teenage boy's reaction to being undressed by a teenage girl is, all right, I'm going to get some. That's not the normal hormone-ridden teenage boy's reaction. That's like Beavis and Butthead's typical reaction.
Right. Yeah, what does this guy know about fucking nature?
Right. Yeah, it's just such an awful thing to like perpetuate that, like, yeah, all teenage boys are willing. I mean, we went over this last episode, I think, but like, no, they have, like, you still have to get consent from all involved parties. It's not, you can't just assume, God, especially with underage people.
Yeah.
This is so bad, dude.
Yeah.
And then this fourth point that they bring out from his written order, Magistrate Hansen claimed as fact what common human experience suggests. If a man imbibes a truly substantial quantity of alcohol, which apparently these teenagers had been drinking, I don't know, to the point that he cannot rationally consent to engage in sexual relations, that man's physical ability to perform sexually also goes away until he sobers. The order then went into graphic detail about the physiology of the male sex organ, which we choose not to repeat.
That's for the best. Thank you, Iowa Supreme Court.
Yeah. They also only printed the full racial slur once. And they pointed out, yeah, we're going to censor this going forward. We only need to say it once. Yeah, so also an extremely harmful idea to perpetuate as an officer of the law that, if a man's drunk, he can't be assaulted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I guess... I assume what he's saying is, like, if you're that drunk, you can't get hard. So what could possibly happen to you sexually, right?
Right. Yeah. Like, yeah, just ridiculous. It's like there's a lot of sex acts that don't involve a fucking penis.
Right. Yeah. Maybe these several days between receiving the request and denying the warrant is the only time he's ever thought about sex.
I think he's probably thought about sex a lot, but through Beavis and Butthead style shit, you know.
Yeah, extremely ignorant and like arrogantly so. Like he's so confident in his own narrow views of like the human experience that he testifies in front of the Supreme Court on his own behalf. He defends himself in this scenario and just says the dumbest shit.
He doesn't even really defend himself. He's like, yeah, this is like what I believe. Like I should have not let my, he didn't say that even. He didn't say like I shouldn't have let my personal beliefs like impact this thing. He said, these are truths. These are truths. Like,
yeah. And I should point out like the Supreme Court, this decision itself was written by Justice Oxley, a Reynolds appointee. The point I'm making is that I think almost the entire Iowa Supreme Court was appointed by Republicans. David Hansen is obviously a Republican. Like he said, he was extremely mad about the treatment of Brett Kavanaugh. Was part of why he denied this warrant. So yeah, I mean, even they see that this is like really fucked up. Like the courts should not operate in this manner. So this guy's got to be removed.
Yeah. Still don't like the Iowa Supreme Court. But
no. I mean, David May, you know,
even bad
abortion decisions. Yeah.
Even bad institutions make good judgments sometimes.
Yeah. Here, this is part of Magistrate Hansen's brief. More of his thoughts on sexual assault allegations. All judges should know and fear false accusations of sexual crimes alleged long after the supposed events. I witnessed the televised atrocities visited upon U.S. Supreme Court justice nominees by women whom effective cross-examination showed to be telling falsehoods. I will never abet such high-tech lynchings, he puts.
And what happened to those two fucking guys? They're still on the fucking Supreme Court.
Yeah.
They're still palling around with like fucking billionaires and being like catered to in every way.
Their reputations were just destroyed by those awful women lying about them. No, I don't think that the cross-examinations effectively proved that those women were lying. Like, quite the opposite. I think that, you know, what was the Clarence Thomas thing? He was like putting his pubes on people's drinks.
Yeah, it was fucking horrible.
Like, yeah, why? I mean, that's an insane thing to lie about. You wouldn't make that up. That's such a peculiar, like, disgusting violation that, like, I don't think it was made up.
No, I don't think so either. Nor the fucking Brett Kavanaugh, Christine Blasey Ford. Like,
no,
that was fucking brave thing to do, and look what it got her, and look what got him. Like,
right.
The point is that it's not
this guy's full of shit and he's an idiot.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point.
He simply should not be a judge. So yes, I think they made the right choice there. And reading like more articles about this guy, like he'd been practicing law for like 40 years already before he was appointed to this position, and just a complete misunderstanding of so many things. And he's out there practicing. Like he's like being removed from this position doesn't mean that he's like gone completely from the legal profession either. I mean, maybe this will have consequences like beyond being removed as a magistrate, but just imagine the damage this guy's done in his long career in the law.
These are the only two things that we know about, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to talk about this new Senate candidate?
Hell yeah, dude.
Okay. Joni Ernst has a Democratic challenger who announced this week. His name is Nathan Sage. Heard of him? Probably not.
Nathan Mint, Nathan Rosemary, Nathan Thyme.
Are you going to... is there a way to make this a joke?
You can make a delicious stock out of this man.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Can I turn this into a Senate joke? No, probably not. I'm too high here on 420 to make a good joke about this. But yeah, Nathan Sage from the town of Knoxville, Iowa. He has put his name out there as a candidate for Senate. The first Democrat to announce for the 2026 midterms. Well, let's let him speak for himself a little bit. He released a high-quality ad to introduce himself to the state of Iowa. Oh. Come on, audio. There we go.
Out of Iowa, a surprise challenger, Democrat Nathan Sage. Marine, Army vet, mechanic, sports radio host.
Okay, I want to make sure I don't forget those. Marine, Army vet, mechanic, sports radio host. Those are the four highlights, right?
Yeah, dude, that's perfect. That's perfect. Good fucking resume, man.
Yeah. Two branches of the military? Holy shit, that's better than one.
Yeah.
Joni Ernst is just Army, right? So
yeah.
Taking on scandal-ridden, corporate-funded Joni Ernst.
I never thought someone like me could run for Senate. When I was 5, my dad got arrested for a bounce check. $50. He was trying to pay for new school clothes for my sister and I.
Ooh, there was a rapid a sequence of childhood photos. I saw him wearing a Ninja Turtle shirt. So he's got millennial cred there. That may help him in this race. I do like the inclusion of that story. My dad got arrested for a bounced check for $50. Granted, that's a story about your dad, not you, but it's supposed to be like, it's kind of like the Christina Bohannon thing. Like, here's the trailer I grew up in, right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
I come from a humble background. Anything like that ever happen to you? Like, did your dad ever get in trouble?
I talked about it on the show when he made a website to make fun of the city councilor. Yeah. But that wasn't that much trouble.
That would be a really funny thing to include in like a Senate campaign ad.
Yeah. My dad mocked a guy who got arrested. A city councilor got arrested. No, but I do. I lived in a trailer. I lived in a trailer when I was a child, so I relate. I relate. I could never imagine someone like me. I could never imagine someone like me running for Senate.
Yeah,
as if it's not just like a couple like procedural hurdles and
right. I mean, he's coming from like nowhere. I don't think he has any. I don't think anyone had heard of him. I don't think he had any like real political ambitions.
Who this fucking guy is.
So yeah, I'm surprised that you're running for Senate as well. I'm not really intending that as like a knock against him.
Yeah,
but like,
well, this is like a very well produced ad. It's like I'm curious where because it's like he does already have.
Is he like recruited or something? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, possibly. I mean, he already has like a, committee or whatever. Like it says like paid for by Nathan Sage for U.S. Senate or whatever.
Right.
So like there's some organization behind it for sure.
Yeah. We should comment a bit on the visuals here, aside from those childhood photos. If you haven't seen the ad, it starts with him, camera following him from behind, walking down like Main Street of a small town. I assume Knoxville, where he's from. Right now he's in a garage where he was just fixing a car, I guess, and he's wearing an American flag sweatshirt. And the white stripes are words. I can't quite make out what it says.
I didn't notice that, but yeah, it's like some Faded Glory shit.
Yeah.
This is
I don't know
shit
what'll
you find
happen
at
if I...
fucking Walmart, which is another, I mean, that's a lot of cred for him.
Got it.
I bought this shirt at Walmart.
I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So it's like the military oath, right? That's what that is?
I think so.
I've never been in the military, but he's been twice in 2 different militaries.
We grew up poor, but I still believed in this country. So I enlisted again and again. 8 years. We were attacked by mortars and rockets more times than I can count.
I enlisted again and again. I was addicted.
I couldn't get
to being
enough.
deployed.
Yeah. I love fucking combat. I loved when they shot mortars at me, actually. I was like, sign me up again, man.
Fuck, this is awesome.
By the grace of God, I made it home. Now I'm the executive director of the Knoxville Chamber of Commerce, one of the many places that's being abandoned, hurt by corporations, billionaires, and the politicians they own. There's a war at home, and we're losing. Unions under attack.
There's a sort of like pixelated fuzziness to a lot of the text here, which is kind of similar to like my graphic design when I'm throwing shit together for this podcast. So I have to speculate that we may have had some influence here on the aesthetics. He's the executive director of the Knoxville Chamber of Commerce, which he throws in there after the military credentials. I don't know much about like the economy of Knoxville, Iowa. He says it's a place that's being abandoned by corporations and billionaires, so it's like a declining small town, is what I imagine, right?
Yeah. Well, they got a big dirt track that attracts like the dirt track nationals are held at Knoxville.
Okay, so
that's
there's
probably
some tourism
like,
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of tourism.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not like a chamber of commerce of like a major city, which is like, I think, unambiguous evil. But the Chamber of Commerce, the executive director of a Chamber of Commerce, even of a small town, it's hard for me to interpret that as like, this is a guy fighting for the little guy. This is like a pro-labor type of position. Executive director of a Chamber of Commerce.
Right.
But he does follow that up with unions are under attack. Okay, so he does care about labor, I guess.
Farmers f***ed over. People.
What the fuck, man? Why'd you have to censor that? You just not
Farmers
say
fucked over.
like we know what you're saying. Like, what's the point? Just say fuck. Democrats need to say fuck. I mean, that's all they need to do. That's all they need to do.
Under
just
attack.
say fuck.
Farmers f***ed over.
Farmers fucked over.
People working nonstop just to survive. Too busy to enjoy life. People like my dad are spending their life slaving away in factories, only to die of cancer caused by those same corporations. The economy is rigged, and those in power don't give a damn. They're the ones doing it. Only
They don't give a damn. Okay, damn you can say. Fuck you cannot say. He probably wants us to be on TV, right? So you can't say fuck.
I guess so. You got to do it the uncensored. You like the clean edit and the the uncensored.
Dirty. The dirty Senate ad. This is like 2 minutes, though, so obviously the full 2 minutes isn't probably going to play on TV.
2% of Congress come from the working class. We built the damn table. It's time we had a seat at it.
2 dams?
I'm fighting for a Democratic Party that people like me will actually want to be a part of. People like my dad, myself, my kids. All the people like us. The DC elites, the ruling class, they don't want me. But I think maybe you will. I'm Nathan Sage.
Okay. The Democratic Party absolutely wants guys who run the local Chamber of Commerce. Like, that is like actually like their exact target demographic.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Look, this is damning. and it's not fair for me to say this at this point, but he sure is giving John Fetterman vibes.
He is. Except John Fetterman was he was rich. He was
that's
like a
true,
fucking
that's true.
lazy prick.
This is a more genuine version of that pitch. Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, I'm not like other Democrats, man.
Yeah. It's like, I'm like the mayor of that small Pennsylvania town. Braddock, was that the name of that town? That's sort of like the vibe here. Like, oh yeah, I'm a big part of this small town, community. I stand here next to this grain silo with a bunch of tattoos on my arms. I'm not your typical DC elite. They don't want me there. I'm going to wear shorts.
Yeah, I got a kind of a neck beard a little bit.
Yeah.
I think I got no neck beards in the Senate. Ban that hairstyle.
This is a great pause. We got Parfait Dad. I got to save this screenshot. Sorry, this is going to be the episode art. Parfait Dad.
Real men don't fucking eat a parfait.
Oh, God. I'm so high, I'm remembering a scene from Shrek now because we're talking about parfaits. Everybody loves parfaits.
That shit's French, man. Get the fuck out of here.
But Donkey from Shrek, he loves parfaits, and he...
You know what else everybody like? Parfaits. Have you ever met a person, you say, hey, let's get some parfaits. They say, hell no, I don't like no parfaits. Parfaits are delicious. No!
He can't believe that Shrek doesn't like parfaits.
Well, Donkey...
Don't you remember?
Democrat, Donkey...
Oh, okay. There is a connection here. And John Fetterman looks like Shrek.
and maybe Nathan Sage might look like Shrek a little bit too.
This is all relevant.
Mechanic, sports radio host, vet, child of a trailer park in Iowa. And I'm going to kick corporate Republican Joni Ernst's ass next November.
And he said ass, too. Okay, so he said damn twice. He said ass once. But fuck was censored. This is a Democrat who swears. This is a cool guy.
I've never seen this fucking playbook before. Never.
Right. Okay, yeah. It's clear to me that this sort of like economic populism thing is becoming more popular among the political class. Like, you have to say stuff like this, I think, now.
Yeah. Well, I think you always kind of had to. It's just
really?
like... Yeah, at least pay lip service. I mean, that's the problem, really, is it's just
exactly.
a lot of lip service.
Yeah.
And the policy positions are not as bold as you might think, based on that ad, believe it or not.
Yeah, I didn't read his whole platform, but sageforsenate.com is his website. He does have his platform up there. I mean, props for having like a lot of words on your website about the things that you would do if you were elected.
Yeah, that's props for having a platform page at all.
Yeah, it's more than a lot of Democrats in recent years have done when they've run for office. I mean, the one that really I paid the most attention to is his the immigration part of his platform, because I think that is really maybe the biggest conflict right now in American politics is like, how are we treating people who come here who were not born here? Like that's a fundamental spiritual, ethical, moral conflict.
Yeah,
and I think it will be the linchpin of a lot of battles to come.
I mean, it was the linchpin of Trump's fucking campaigns.
Yes,
so
And I mean, opposition to Trump's border policy, immigration policy was as close as you could come to like mass consensus, in the first Trump term. Like huge protests against it, abolish ICE being kind of a rallying call, if not necessarily mainstream policy.
Right.
Kids in cages being like a big point, a big political thing. And is that going to happen again? It seems like it's not as much of a united front against those inhumane policies.
Well, Democrats are already like, we need to talk about the terrorists. We can't talk about people being disappeared. We can't talk about immigration policy because we don't really have a great record on that.
Well, there is that. Yeah.
Can't really, it's hard to differentiate.
But it's like, if they tried, it's not, because like they're going way harder this time than they did last time. And like, Yeah, I mean, Obama deported shitloads of people. The Biden administration didn't really stop the deportation machine either in any meaningful way. But I don't know, like, do the right thing. You have an opportunity here to turn this thing around. Like, I think more people are, now that this, like, really openly scary shit is happening, more and more people are going to be like, okay, this really is pretty bad. I should actually care about this, you know?
One would hope, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, you know, there's been polls recently, though, that say, like, you know, 51 to 53% of those polled think that we should deport all illegal residents. So we can't really, if you want to win elections, you got to, you know.
Yeah.
You gotta
can't have
compromise
actual
on that.
leadership to like change people's ideas. You know, we just have to fucking adapt to what people already believe, whatever fucked up garbage they already believe.
Triangulation. Yeah. Okay, so back to the point. Nathan Sage's immigration part of his platform. Secure the border and pass comprehensive immigration reform. No to the first part. Okay, maybe to the second part. And then going into detail. Without a border, we don't have a country.
We have a border.
There.
We have a border.
Well, there's
we
that.
have a country.
Yeah. But who does that sound like? Who have you maybe heard say that to the press hundreds of times over the past 10 years? Maybe Donald Trump?
Yeah.
The most anti-immigrant president we've had in our modern history. Maybe not the type of guy we should be echoing in our Democratic platform for Senate.
Right.
For years, Democrats and Republicans have paid lip service to the idea of border security as millions of people illegally streamed over the border. Again, this is Democrat for U.S. Senate, Nathan Sage. It's unsafe for migrants. Okay, that part's true, but it's because we have militarized our border. Dangerous for our communities. Okay, how? And hurts American workers. Debatable. Not the fault of the immigrants, obviously.
Right.
Joni Ernst has spent years talking about the crisis at the border, but never got anything done.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm guessing, I don't know her history of votes on immigration bills, but I'm guessing that she voted for the bad ones.
Yeah. I think they have done things. Like, you know, the past couple terms, I think they have done things about immigration that are not good. But this is just such a, to me at least, crazy position to take, running as a member of the opposition party, given what we have going on right now. Just unidentified government thugs grabbing random brown people off the street, not even identifying them properly, putting them in a van, putting them on a plane, shipping them to what appears to be a concentration camp in a foreign country. That we have some sort of like $1 billion deal with the government of El Salvador. That's pretty fucking extreme immigration policy that the federal government has right now. And your position is, we're not doing enough about illegal immigration. I think we should probably do a lot less than what we're doing now when it comes to our government's handling of immigrants. Joni Ernst's multinational corporate donors want the border to stay open. They benefit from cheap illegal labor who they can pay pennies. They are standing in the way of serious immigration reform. There is, I imagine, some truth to that. However, again, you're victimizing the wrong people here.
Right. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's like the economic protectionism stuff. It's like the same way that we've seen some Democrats kind of be like, well, we're not like against tariffs. We just think that this is bad. It's like, we're not really against like fucking dehumanizing and like persecuting immigrants.
Right. Exactly.
But it's like, yeah, it's ridiculous.
For the Democrat to be like, hey, they're taking your jobs in 2025. Like, man, have we learned nothing?
Free trade, like it has hurt American workers, but we need like international socialism.
Exactly.
If we're gonna like fight against that, I mean, that's the problem here. Is that these fucking, I don't know. I'm honestly like sick of fucking anti-communist, anti-socialist, anti-Marxist fucking liberals. Like I cannot fuck with them. I cannot.
Yeah, this is just going in circles about this shit over and over. I know that it's easier said than done. It's kind of an oversimplification, but the solution to this labor exploitation is, global communism. Like, it's not, we're not going to like actually solve these problems that you are acknowledging are not going to be solved by like little tweaks in the U.S. empire's immigration policy, depending on which party has 51% year to year. You know, these people are being exploited because there is a global capitalist class that needs slave labor.
Yeah. Right. It's so fucked.
We need to fix, this is back to Nathan Sage's words, we need to fix our immigration system so that people who want to come here, work hard, and contribute to society have a realistic path to citizenship. At the same time, we need to deport and keep out criminals who want to harm Americans.
Okay, wow. Fucking brave.
This is such a bad thing to be co-signing.
Vast majority of the immigrants are people who do come here to work hard, contribute to society, and have like a better life. Like that's why they're coming here. Like 99% of the time. The
thing that's often overlooked in these conversations is that 99% of the world's population does work hard because we have to. we are obligated to work
right.
and quote contribute to quote society because otherwise we starve because there's no help for anyone who's not willing to be exploited and sell their labor. So yes, again, we got a different kind of Democrat here who also refuses to see the big picture. And this may all be just a moot point, you know, like, do you really think this guy's going to challenge Joni Ernst in 2026? You never heard of him before today.
I mean, he might. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fucking hard to make any predictions right now, according to like what America is going to do in its waning influence and global empiredom. Like, it's
true. I mean, there could be wide swings. Like, stuff could get real crazy over the next few years.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy right now.
Yep, it is. I mean, every other thing on here is like pretty, I mean, like we've seen this before, like we said.
Yeah.
Like,
there's fairly boilerplate stuff. I just really cannot get past that immigration section. That's like disqualifying for sure to me.
Yeah. It's also funny, he has LGBTQ rights as like the last plank on his platform, and it's like completely vague. Like, you know, like the other ones like refers to like specific things, and this is just like, I believe that who you are and who you love or how you identify is your business, not the government's. What happens in your home, heart, or identity does not concern a politician in Washington. Okay, great.
We are all human beings.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's basically a libertarian thing. Not really acknowledging what's actually happening.
Yeah, well, and also
LGBTQ
specifically in
people
this
right now.
In this state. I mean, I know you're running for national office, but like I feel like you probably want to talk about that if you're going to have that on your platform, but whatever. Yeah. No one reads this shit except for us, so it's like whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. And I immediately thought of Dan Osborne, the Nebraska Senate candidate from last year when this guy's ad came out. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I did see some comments online. That video you sent me, other people comparing him to Dan Osborne. It seems like the same kind of tack here, but big difference is Dan Osborne ran as an independent candidate and did surprisingly well. With it seems like a very similar platform to this. But Nathan Sage chose to take kind of the same idea, but run as a Democrat.
Yeah.
And I think we will see the results we expect.
That kind of lessens the appeal. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, to finish things out this week, the governor has signed a few bills this week. One that's like really a big deal, I think, is lowering the minimum age to buy a handgun. That's the one that's been making a lot of headlines this week. If you're 18, you can now buy a defense tool.
Yeah.
Yeah. More handguns, less
the only
restrictions
defense to a teenager, handguns. A bad teenager with a gun is a good teenager with a gun.
Yeah. That's what I've seen. That's what the studies bear out, I think. One bill, though, that I really have been paying attention to that. It hasn't been signed yet. I don't know why, but the Senate and House did pass this. And when Reynolds signed a bunch of bills, I think on Thursday, this one did not get signed. A bill requiring high school students in the state of Iowa to pass a naturalization test in order to graduate from high school. So the same test, a lot of immigration talk today, the same test that immigrants have to pass to become U.S. citizens, now high schoolers, if this gets signed, which I think she will sign it, Iowa high schoolers will have to pass the naturalization test to graduate. And so this is a part, I think the strategy is instilling this love of our country. We have the best governmental system in the whole world, in the history of the world. It's that American exceptionalism thing that they're trying to push on Iowa schools. Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking this might have it might backfire in some ways, because especially now, the current relationship between the executive branch and the judicial branch, especially, if you are making sure that high school graduates know what this relationship is intended to be and see the disparity between how it is now, I don't know that will necessarily instill a patriotism within them.
Yeah. I think it's kind of a losing battle at this point. In the long term, at least.
Yeah. But. Yeah. They're kind of trying to combat, the TikTokification of the youth, I think, is another part of it.
Right.
Which is also why they're banning phones in schools. So I thought that, real quick, maybe you and I could take part of this test.
Okay. About to display our ignorance.
No, I think we might do well. do well.
I've seen some of the questions before. They're not too terribly hard.
Yeah, I'm on the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services website, uscis.gov. We have the 2008 civics practice test. I guess this is the most recent one. It hasn't been updated since 2008. It's a pool of 100 questions, and then when you actually take the test, you are asked 10 random questions from this list of 100, and then the practice test here gives us 20, so we get a little extra practice. And to pass the civics test, you have to get at least 60%. And I think it's the same deal for the high schoolers if this bill passes. You got to get at least 60%. I'm starting the practice test here. Here, I will pull this up so you can read it along with me, so I don't want you to get confused and mishear me, or if I misspeak, we got to make this fair.
Okay.
All right. So question 1, you see here, what are the 2 parts of the U.S. Congress? 2 was underlined. All right. This is multiple choice. I think it might not be multiple choice when you actually take this test.
I would hope not. Jesus. I guess these are way easier than I thought.
Yeah. All right.
The House of the Lords and the House of Commons. Yeah, definitely. Right. That's that one.
That's to trip up the British immigrants.
Yeah, right.
All right. A, House of Representatives and the courts. B, the Senate and the House of Representatives. C, the House of Lords and the House of Commons. C, the House of Lords and the House of Commons. And D, the Senate and the courts. Obviously, it's B.
It's B.
Right. We know this one.
Yeah.
The Senate and the House of Representatives. The 2
one
chambers.
Down. Let's go.
All right. Question 2. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? This could be tricky. The options are James Madison, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, and Thomas Jefferson. I can rule out option B. I know Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, right.
He was only a baby when they wrote that, right?
He was a baby.
I don't think George Washington was much of a writer, right?
No, it's
Thomas
D.
Jefferson.
It's
Thomas Jefferson wrote that. We do know that one. Okay. Who is, question 3, who is the, quote, father of our country?
Wait.
Is this an objective
countries
question?
Can't have dads.
Right. The options are Abraham Lincoln, Patrick Henry, George Washington, or Thomas Jefferson.
It's got to be Patrick Henry.
All right, I'm sorry. Remind me who Patrick Henry even was. He was the first post-colonial governor of Virginia. Yeah, this is not a guy that I really remember.
I remember his name.
Yeah.
From a history class a million years ago.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's probably Washington, right?
I think it's George W. Washington. George W.
Yeah.
Washington.
Yes, he's the father of our country. He's all of our dads, George Washington. Question number 4. What is one thing Benjamin Franklin is famous for?
His exploits in France.
Yeah, his many venereal diseases. The options given to us are: he was the youngest member of the Constitutional Convention. I think he was like older than a lot of those guys, if I remember right. B, he was a U.S. diplomat. C, he was the 3rd president of the U.S. And D, he's the inventor of the airplane.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, I guess U.S. diplomat's got to be the right answer on that one.
Yeah.
His exploits in France. So you were right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right. Question number 5.
Ooh.
Name one state that borders Mexico. Our options are Arkansas, Alabama, Florida, or California.
Well, yeah, I think 3 of those are pretty far east.
Yeah, Arkansas has no bodies of water neighboring it. It's got to be California. Yep. Right there on the western edge. All right, so we're 5 out of 5 so far. Oh, okay. This one's a bit of a challenge. How many amendments does the Constitution have? Is it 23, 21, 27, or 10?
I actually just read this on Nathan Sage's platform page.
Hey, thank you, Nathan. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. Throw us a bone here.
Education. We're up to 27 now, right? Am I right about that?
I think it's 23.
Well, we're only at 23?
23?
All right, let's go with 23.
No, fuck. Never mind.
It is 27.
I misremembered. Okay.
It is 27.
God damn it. Fuck.
All right.
Never mind.
Well,
fuck you, Nathan Sage. No, he got it right. I just misremembered it.
He has the wrong number of
I
amendments
read
on
it
his
earlier
website,
this morning and already forgot, and then, was overly confident.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, 27th Amendment is 92, so that's like it's a boring one, right?
Yeah, it's about congressional pay.
Yeah, because they haven't done like the Equal Rights Amendment.
Oh my God, I can't believe I fucked that up. I'm never going to become a citizen.
See, we're not going to graduate high school at this rate. All right, question 7. If the president can no longer serve, who becomes president? There's a line of succession here, right? Our options are the Speaker of the House, the Vice President, the Secretary of State, and the President pro tempore. So who's second in line after the president? That's going to be the Vice President.
That's a tough one, yeah. Vice President.
Yes. Oh, question number 8. So we've got 6 right. So we have graduated high school, but we can do a few more. What is the name of the President of the United States now? Oh, wait. Keep in mind, this is the 2008 civics practice test.
Oh, okay.
So should we say Bush?
That's good. It also has Kamala Harris as one of the answers.
Yeah, they knew in 2008 that she was coming up.
I feel like they might have updated this since 2008.
Yeah. Okay. Kamala Harris, Donald J. Trump,
there's an
George W.
asterisk
Bush,
next
Barack
to
Obama.
Now. What is the asterisk? There's no asterisk below.
It doesn't tell us what that means. I think I did read somewhere that they do update the answers after every presidential election. Even if the test itself, the questions have remained the same, the answers do get updated. So yeah, Kamala Harris, Donald J. Trump, George W. Bush, or Barack Obama is president right now. Last I heard, it's Donald J. Trump. Okay, it's him. We got that one right. How many U.S. senators are there? Are there 50, 52, 100, or 435 senators?
How many states are there?
How many? How many senators do we have? The state of
2.
Iowa. We got 2, right?
I think it's 2. I think it's 2 for every state. That's to keep the rural people well represented.
Right. It's to make sure the slave states still have equal representation.
Mm-hmm. Very stupid. Okay. Very stupid system. It's C.
It's 100. We have 100 U.S. senators. And let's do one last question.
One more.
Question number 10. Oh, this is interesting. I actually might not know. What is one promise you make when you become a United States citizen? So they make you promise things. Our options are A, never travel outside the United States. B, disobey the laws of the United States. Why would we promise to disobey the laws? Why is that even in there? C, give up loyalty to other countries. And D, not defend the Constitution and laws of the United States. Yeah, this is one where
they're like, oh, like, Justin is going to think this one's a little bit hard. So we're going to just, like, if you're, like, any good at taking multiple choice tests and you're like immediately going to be able to rule out 3 of the answers.
Let's put some very stupid options in here. So yeah, it's
also always C. It's always C. That's like the ITEDS test is just hit C on every fucking bubble.
So it's you promise to give up loyalty to other countries is part of your oath of citizenship. Let me read what they say. So we got the right answer. They make you promise to give up loyalty to other countries. Kind of unfair. And they say, an immigrant completes many requirements to become a U.S. citizen. The final step is to take an oath of allegiance. You promise to be loyal to the United States and give up loyalty to other countries. You promise to defend the Constitution and obey the laws of the United States. And you promise to serve the United States when the government needs your help. Wow. Good thing I haven't had to make any of those promises.
Yeah. And also, you can leave the country if you want.
Right. They didn't specify that. But you are not required to stay within the borders of the United States for the rest of your life. That is not part of the deal. So I guess we would pass. We would graduate high school if we were presented with this test.
Thank God.
Yeah, this seems kind of stupid.
Agreed. I don't think this does much for anyone.
Yeah. We're requiring these students to take this test. Well, are they already required to like take a history class?
Yeah,
at some
right.
point,
I was going to say, I think like we're required to learn a little bit about U.S. history.
Yeah,
in a fucked up way, but like these ones, these questions, I think are. You probably got them if you've taken like one course on it.
Right. You could probably get 60% if you've, even if like an elementary school, founding documents overview would probably help you pass this one. Well, okay, that's good news for us. We if sometimes you have a dream where like you're forced to go back to high school because you didn't fulfill one requirement. They actually are. Part of this bill is it does apply retroactively. So if you graduated from an Iowa high school at any point in the last 100 years, you will be required to report back to school and do this citizenship test. Just like that bad recurring nightmare you have, you are going to have to go back. And you might have to do it naked. You might have to take the test naked too. All right. Well, that's Rock Hard Caucus episode 194. I had one other thing prepared, but we've already gone an hour and 12 minutes. We're not going to read the Pastor Sam story from the Iowa Standard today.
Oh yeah, that's a good one though. I read that one too.
I might save that one because it's really crazy,
very, very insane. Yeah,
but it's sort of like a infighting among the fascists.
Kim Reynolds a rhino, basically.
Yeah,
Fucking, that's wild.
Yeah, one of the most right-wing governors in the country. She's not quite good enough for this guy, Pastor Sam. So yeah, that's a teaser for next week, maybe. All right, thanks for listening to the show. Again, please come to our live show at Film Scene in Iowa City on May 7th. It will be a great time, and all of the money is going to Iowa Trans Mutual Aid Fund. They need the money, and you need to have fun with us at a movie theater.
Yeah. Fulfilling two needs.
Right. May 7th. And if you like weird music, a couple days after that, on May 10th, I will be playing a solo set at Hell, the venue Hell in Iowa City. I'm going to play a solo set. Local Denny Richards also will be playing a set. You may know him from the band Lou Sherry. And we've got D. Jean-Baptiste from Chicago coming through. That's why we're doing this show. It'll be a nice. night of weird, sort of loose, improvisatory music. Should be fun. Come hear some music in Hell, May 10th. A few days after you come to the Rock Hard Caucus live show at Film Scene on May 7th. Give us a call at 319-849-8733. If you think we said anything stupid on the show today, you can call us and berate us about it.
We definitely have. So
give us a break. We're so high on 420.
Yep.
I'm smoking that Cadbury here on Easter 420.
I'm off that cream, bro.
Yeah. 319-849-8733. Leave us a voicemail, and that voicemail may end up on Rock Hard Call Us, another series we do, which is accessible at patreon.com/rockhardcaucus. If you give us $1 per month, you can listen to every episode of Rock Hard Call Us, of which there have been 16 over the past few months. There's also other stuff on there. Speed Freak Read Speak, a series where Tony and I read Sonic the Hedgehog comic books. There's our Slipknot series from last year, Bay Not Me Slippin', which was a review of every Slipknot album with a lot of excellent guests.
Mm-hmm.
It's all over there at Patreon if you want it. All right, we're going to close out with some local music. Death Bag. Speaking of the guests on the Slipknot series, Gabby Vanek's duo with Chris Wiersma. Rest in peace to Chris Wiersma. Death Bag has finally released their album, Flagellant Songs. And I'm going to play a little bit of the track Imitation Crab Salad. We had a album release listening party at Trumpet Blossom the other night, and this is the track that really stood out to me. It's in the middle of the album, Imitation Crab Salad.
Imitation Crab is underrated. It's good stuff.
Is awesome. I love Imitation Crab.
Yeah, man. It's like fish sausage, delicious fish sausage.
If you like what you hear, you can get the whole album at deathbagiowacity.bandcamp.com. If you're a physical media sicko, there have been vinyl records printed of this, so you can get one of those. And it's a good album. Congrats to my friend Gabby, and congrats to the spirit of Chris Wiersma. I know he's listening. All right, thanks everybody. This has been Rock Hard Caucus. Thank you, Evan, as always. Thank you, Iowa. We love you, and better days are ahead. Probably.